I'm on a master swim team here in the local area. I mountain bike, I paddle surf, I'm a hiker. So I do a lot of activities. I probably am doing something 6 days a week. So to have a heart attack and have any kind of complication was a huge surprise to me.
So about a year and a half ago, I had another episode of shortness of breath and chest pain, and it was determined that I needed 4 more stents.
Let's be thankful that this is discovered, whether it's an MI, whether it's a stent, whether it's a valve, whatever it is. And believe me, when I went to med school in the 50s, none of those existed. There was no such thing as open heart surgery or any of those things, or catheters going in and stuff like that.
I did the worst thing you possibly can do. I ignored it.
Kind of almost waking up after the cath lab in the ICU unit and looking up and going, thank you, Lord, that was close. I'm really glad to be alive.
And when we woke up after the extubation, seeing your wife there and seeing, yet being helpless. It's that helpless thing over and over again.
An ICU nurse whispered in my ear the very first day after recovering from the stent. And I hadn't seen her in the room, but she was busy working, and it was recovery day, of course. And by the end of the day was the end of her shift, and she leaned down as she was leaving, and I noticed her, and she leaned down, and in my ear, she said, Mr. Wendorf, I have some advice for you. You need to learn how to care far less about far more.
I said, I'm scared. This is, what's going to happen to me? And this is when he said, go to cardiac rehab, which I did. And I've been grateful ever since.
It was great conversation. It was nice to meet other people, men and women, that have had other issues, maybe different than mine, but we shared a common concern. And it created some hope for me. I just needed to be out. I needed to be with people. I needed to talk about it.
The people running it are ICU nurses that have rehabilitation experience. You're being monitored constantly.
There are a lot of us that have heart disease, and that together, we're fighting it.
You'll get your life back.
I mean, if I could just look into the eyes of a patient that's going through what I went through and is at the starting line where I started in ICU right after the incident, right after recovery, I would say these words: slow down, take time, and get help.